here at Nkosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today is Rachel G. Rachel G, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Nomsa. And
Have you
yourself?
have you recovered from Breakthrough Challenge Survival?
Yeah, just about.
Just about. I have recovered, so it was like I didn't do anything. Like Saturday when we finished, I just went, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and have some pizza.
And fall
So
asleep.
yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone that is watching today. So our topic today is reasons why the way you feel about yourself will detect your success. So what do you think about the topic, Rachel?
Yeah, I like this topic because this has been my experience. One of my biggest lessons in my healing and self-acceptance journey has been basically, that how I feel about myself is actually determining the success that I achieve in life. And with success, I don't necessarily just mean, like with my business or with relationships. It's just, with the success of how I feel each and every day. And yeah, I've so I really sort of like started to work on that loving and accepting myself a little bit more each day, and I continue to do so because yeah, each and every one of us, our most important resource when it comes to being and to leading and to doing really anything in our life, um, we we are like these magnets, and we're
with
either
the success of how I
magnetized.
feel each and every day.
Oh,
And
oh,
yeah,
sorry,
I've
sorry.
so I really sort of like started to work on that loving.
Come on.
That was funny hearing myself back again. I can't hear you.
We can't hear, I can't see like it because we're streaming via Zoom to Restream. So with Restream, I can see the comment. So I'm trying to go actually to the page so I can see the comments through my phone.
Accepting myself a little bit more each day, and I continue to do so.
This is all new, guys. We're doing new things. And I still can't hear you, Nomsa.
Put the volume down, but your voice is not going away.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to continue?
I'll
Sorry
just
about that.
continue. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So like each and every one of us are our own our most important resource, So when it comes to us just being and leading and doing anything in our life, I feel that like we are these magnets, and we are either magnetizing things towards, coming towards us, or we're actually repelling things. And all of that will come down to actually, how it is that we feel, because at the core of our being, is like, how do we feel about ourselves? And that's what's causing this to be the magnetized or repelled. And we feel one another's energy, right? We pick up on how somebody is feeling, and we're always actually reacting to this kind of unspoken dance of communication, which, when we pick up on it, it's really just coming down to how someone is thinking about themselves. I like to think of it as like, if you imagine your self-worth is this like invisible energy field that is around you that others are sensing. So yeah, how you think about yourself is quite evident to anything around you. I hear it in the way people speak, in the words that they use. I can see it in people's body language, and it's just like this feeling that you get from this energetic presence that somebody is holding. And so yeah, when you come into contact with that, you actually are acting on it, and you're responding to it. You just maybe don't actually realize that that's what you're doing. So yeah, it's a great subject. As you can see, I'm enthusiastic about it.
Thank you so much, Rachel. If you have a phone, I think you might have to go on the page and see if people, because I'm actually trying to put the volume down on the phone, like just to see the comment. I can't put the volume down. I don't know why, but my volume is down. It's gone 0, but you're still talking. I'm still talking. So, so yeah, I actually agree with you, Rachel, when you say how people feel. It would determine how actually the outcome of our lives and our thoughts, how we think, and our reality. We have our thoughts there, we have our reality on the side, and there's us in the middle. And whatever we think in life, it would determine what we do. It's like when we were doing Breakthrough Challenge Survival, I saw it when I was recording on my phone, like for the first time, I could see my energy wasn't there. And then I was like, what am I doing? And I'll switch it off. And then the following day, because I was like, thinking, okay, I think I can do this. And I could see the energy is changing. And then the third day, I was like, okay, I've got to do this. So I could see my videos, the energy, it changed as well. So I think because at first, because I've never done video marketing before. And at first I was like doubting myself. But then the more I kept doing it, and then I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So it's just, we believe in when you believe in the things that you do in life, or you think positive thinking, psychology, positive thinking, if you use that, or even if things are not going well in your life, or even if the business, like let's say you're working with a business, the energy that you put in that, the outcome will be what you think. So you have to agree with your positive thoughts, even if life doesn't make sense sometimes. And this is something that I myself have learned, that going for things that will not harm me anyway. So I might as well do it. And when we were doing this Breakthrough Challenge Survival, and having people that wanted to do this, even though we didn't know, we never done it before, and we did it on our own without any coach. We just did it. I went to Shanda and she told us this is what we need to do, and we did it on our own, and we believe in ourselves. And that shows that if you really, really want to succeed in life, our thoughts become what we think. So they become reality. And that's what I have learned through this journey. And I don't know, there'll be so many nuggets that we hear, because life, if you think about storms, when it comes to life, your results of storms. But if you see like storms as a blessing, like for me, when life gives me storms, I see it as a blessing. It's not easy to arrange a summit. There've been speakers messing me about, saying yes, and then last minute they changed their mind, and I was like, I'm learning something. My patience was being tested. So when somebody lets me down, I just go and sit down and have a drink. You sit down, you have water, and just relax. And then in the next one, it will be, maybe there is a reason why this person is letting me down. So I'm not going to worry about anything. So then you continue with whatever we do. And that's why we ended up Saturday, and we had a good day, although you guys, and you ended up sick, and Dr. Biggett ended up with being called for emergency, but the day was good.
Yeah. I mean, like, as you said, what you were just picking up on there, to feel good about any external things that, like the work that we do, the role that we play in life, or or at work, or the project maybe that you're leading, or being with your colleagues, any really endeavors, you know, anything that we do, we need to be feeling good about ourselves and about our life, to have that best, to get the best result out of whatever it is that we're doing. Because, you know, when it comes down to it, we are just energy beings, and people knowingly or unknowingly are attracted to our energy. And so, for example, you know, if you're applying for a job, and you actually believe that you are not worthy of it, then most likely you're not going to get that job. You know, if you're trying to sell a service to somebody, but you don't actually value yourself as the person that is offering that service, then, you know, another person, why would they want to buy it? They're going to feel that energy from you. Just as if you're going to try and do anything, if you don't believe that you can actually do it, then, you know, you're not going to be successful at it. So I think it's really important to remember that you need to first convince yourself before you're going to be able to convince somebody else. You know, if you don't think that you're worthy of a job, you don't believe that the services that you offer are of any value, that you don't believe that you are capable of learning something new, then you are just really just being a judge and a jury on you, and others are just going to basically respond to that judgment, and they're going to just act accordingly. And like I said, some people know that that's what they're doing, that they're in tune, they feel the energy, and then there are other people who are completely oblivious to it, but on a deeper level that is actually what is going on. So, and like you said, our minds are really powerful, and yet how much time do we really spend reflecting on the way that we think? You know, that doesn't really get a lot of focus, does it, from people? You know, like, what am I thinking about? We just don't really necessarily take much time to think about that. But the way that we think about ourselves, and we're repeatedly thinking those thoughts, is really influencing how we feel about ourselves, and how we feel about yourself is really directly influencing the way then that we behave. And so that then has a knock-on effect with the choices that we're going to be making, and ultimately then the outcomes that we're going to be having. And so that triple combination of thought, emotion, and action, that is what is turning into reality. So yeah, if you're continuously repeatedly, if you are continuously repeating inaccurate conclusions about who you are and what it is that you're capable of doing, then inevitably all you're doing is really just limiting, your potential, right? Don't hear you.
I actually agree with you, Rachel. There's a link between our thoughts and our reality and our emotions. So everything is linked together. And what you were saying is people are attracted to our energy and the things that we do. That's why when you walk to a room, if your energy is not really there, people will feel that. Some people will pick on that, but if your energy is there, people will feel your happiness, people will feel it. And that's why sometimes if your thoughts, sometimes our thoughts can be a warning to us, to say, if a thought says, I'm unhappy, so that means your thoughts is asking you to actually look through within the problem and seek to solve that problem, not to ignore it. But sometimes some people intend to ignore when there is a problem, or even if there is a happiness, thoughts may want to explore. And when they want to explore, they may want to get creative. And you are like, oh, I'm tired, I can't get creative this time. Maybe that's when you can get good ideas. So sometimes it's a good idea not to ignore our thoughts. And even our negative thoughts, when they come, not to say to push them away. Just let them know that I am aware your negative thoughts, that you are here and you are making me unhappy. Me, I have my earphones when I walk, or when sometimes I'm in the house, I'm listening to the music. Sometimes you hear me talking on my own, talking to myself. And people sometimes will think, oh, she's talking to the phone, she's talking on the phone, but I'm actually talking to myself, because I'm letting this negative thought that is coming to me and telling me that I cannot create a better life for myself, or I'm not enough, or is basically I have to make this thought realize that actually I can be who I want to be. Only if I can actually take action, I can do something and become something. And that's why it is important for people when they're actually, when your thinking comes in, you are the driver behind that wheel of your thoughts. So if you don't see as your driver behind that wheel, your thoughts will drive you. That means they will direct you to the wrong direction, to wherever they want. But if you say, okay, I am in the driver's seat here, I'm in charge. Let your thoughts know that I am in charge. And being in charge, it means I'm going to think the way that I think is right, and I'm going to create the success that I want. If I feel that I'm not good enough, somebody else will be good enough to help me, to guide me through this. That's how I always do things. That if my thoughts like give me some doubts, always the doubts comes in, and I'm not afraid to text Rachel and say, hey, listen, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And that's why when I went to the other day, when we were about to put the page live, and the girl was like, this is not working, I think you need to actually go and buy another domain. So I was like, no, actually, Des never bought a different domain. He actually linked everything together and put slash with the HSCIS. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and on YouTube and I'm gonna learn it. So this guy comes in and it goes, yeah, when you do this with the domain, it might not work. So then I look at what she was doing online. She was doing the same thing. And he was like, it might be somebody else has beat you to it to create that domain. So that's why it might not work. So then he was like, do this. And then I was like, okay, let me put the number and see. The moment I put the numbers, and then it worked. So I was like, that's why she was fed up. She was asking me to go and buy. I had bought the domain and listened to her and went and bought it. And then after I bought it, and I was like, no, but it doesn't sound right that we can use a different domain. I think we can still use one. So when I went and started looking, but simply my thoughts would have come to me and said, you paid this person, you need to scream at them, ask them to do the work because you paid them. Because I've been in that situation where somebody who said, I paid you to do my work and you are going to deliver the results. So in that way, when I was doing, I've learned this from Shanda anyway, when she was doing live, she says, when you are doing something, sometimes some things are meant to be done by you. You work as a team, even if you pay someone. She says in the house, she pays people, but when she sees a piece of paper, she'll pick it up and put it in the bin. Or if she sees that there is a part where the house needs cleaning, she'll go and clean it herself. And she doesn't scream or she doesn't do anything as long as the people are doing the work, what they're supposed to do. So that's where I've learned this from her. When this girl, with a man, she was saying, I can't do this, no, so you need to go. I was like, okay, let me try. So I'm sitting there 1 hour, half an hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'm like, it's not working. So do I give up? I was about to give up. And then I was like, let me put in the one number. And then I see it stays there. Second number, third number, it stays there. I'm like, it's done. I was like, where? But I could have easily, my thought would have easily gone that you paid this person, tell them off, but I wasn't gonna do that because of the experience as a leader, that being surrounded by other coaches where I see you guys doing things and not saying do this, but you get on with life. So I'm learning from other leaders as well. And I was like, I have to be a leader. As a leader, it means when somebody can't do something, just because you pay them, it doesn't mean you cannot step in and help. So then that's when I had to, and then I sent a message and I said, go back to the page, it's done. I've created the domain now, it's done. And she was like, oh, thank you. And for me, can you imagine if I was somebody who is cocky, full of egos, we wouldn't have been able to do it. But I'm learning from you guys.
And also, I mean, so let's say, so a belief is a thought that we repeatedly keep thinking. So if you had believed that you were a failure at what was going on, then you're going to feel, if you believed it, then you were going to feel like a failure, which would have had you actually act like a failure, because you would have been reinforcing the belief that, hey, guess what? I must be a failure, right? So we have to remember that your beliefs, those thoughts that you are repeatedly thinking, are actually a catalyst for a self-perpetuating cycle. So it's important to recognize what it is that you continuously think about all the time, because it is actually then forming a belief, because I see it a lot happening when I'm working with my beautiful clients, that they will have this thought that will say something like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good enough to set up my own business, or I'm not good enough to get that promotion at work, or I'm not good enough to get into law school. And it's these assumptions that are actually what are leading them to feel, to be feeling discouraged, to be feeling demoralized. And that can then cause them to actually either not take any action at all, or they're going to just put in a lot less effort into actually making something happen for them. And so the moment that we draw these conclusions about ourselves, then more often than not, we are doing two things. One, we are looking for the evidence that is going to reinforce that belief, the belief that I'm a failure. So we're going to look for that evidence, and we will disregard anything that is running contrary to that belief. And so, for example, let's say that you've developed a belief that you are this failure. You will view each and every mistake that you make as proof that, I'm not good enough. I am a failure. And that when you do actually succeed at something, and let's say it was what you succeeded at, you would just go, oh yeah, but that was just luck. How we just disregard. So it's interesting as human beings, isn't it, how we see things that go on in our life. And so it's really important that we challenge ourselves, and we challenge these conclusions that we are making about ourselves, and so I like to advise, take a look at the labels that you've placed upon yourself. What have you negatively declared about yourself? Are you saying, I'm incompetent, I'm just not intelligent enough, I'm just not a good leader? Really start to do a self-inquiry, because it's quite interesting what you'll find out about yourself when you just sort of slow down and take stock. It's most of the time the things that we think about ourselves are usually untrue when we really start to peel back the layers.
That is very important what you are saying, Rachel. When it comes to clients, I've realized as well where somebody will come in and say, Nomsa, I want to find out how the company works, how the matchmaking works. So as I'm explaining the process, and this person will be like, do you think you can find me someone at this certain time? Because I feel that I'm getting old, and I feel that at my age, like at the age of some are 40, some are 30, and at the age of this, I don't think it's, people, there's so much competition online. And I'm thinking, seriously? And I just laugh sometimes when they're explaining, and the clients will be like, what is so fun? I'm like, why do you label yourself so much with all this baggage? The time scale. If you say maybe I'm worried about having children, like maybe at the age of 50, I can understand that, because sometimes we need to be healthy in order for us to have our children, but you can freeze the eggs at the same time. So I'm like, by this thing, the way I don't understand is somebody tells me that when I'm 40 or 45 or 50, that means I can't find somebody who is gonna want to date me. So I'm like, okay, so we are labeling ourselves. So it's okay to be in your 20s, and in your 30s, then somebody's going to want you because you look younger. So I was like, for me, the way I believe that there is someone for everyone. That's how I believe. That's how God works, that there is someone. If someone is single at the age of 40, 41, up to 100, I believe that there is someone for everyone, as long as you believe it yourself. And the labels that you're talking about, Rachel, people label themselves a lot. It's like they will tell you that I want to start a business, and then it comes the label. I don't think I'm actually cut out to. I'm like, seriously, you just need to work on your confidence and have someone like what Angie does. Angie helps women who wants to start their own business. It helps them with the confidence and things like that. So, and those are the things that the problem that I had when I started my business. And I remember ringing my brother, and I'm like, what do you think I'll be good at? And he goes, Nomsa, you know what you're good at. And I was like, what is that? And he goes, if I was to tell you my problems right now, you will sit there and listen the whole day without judging me. So what do you think you're good at? And I was already studying psychology, and it was like, that's what you're good at, and stop asking me, just get on with it. So we want that reassurance that, yes, we are going to be okay when we start doing this. So I think that's when, if you can afford a coach, or if you can get a free coach, because there's lots of people that offers a free session. You offer a free session, don't you, as well? There's so many coaches out there who offers a free complimentary session just for you to have an idea of what the coaching is going to be like. And even at Ngozi Talk Shows, we did a breakthrough challenge survival. And for those who didn't know, if you sign up on that link, where there's a link on the video, if you sign up on the link, it will take you to free gifts. And free gifts, it has so much. I still need to go and snoop around as well, because I've been so busy. So I really need to go and snoop around with the free gifts that I can use as well from other coaches. Because just because I'm a coach, it doesn't mean I don't need any help. I do. And you're right, people label themselves. And mostly with the clients, when they come in, I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh my God, this is who I used to be. Sometimes I laugh, because this is when somebody is explaining, it's like we have swapped chairs. Like, this is the person that I used to be, and I'm hearing myself, my old self. And then I'll be like, yes, so how can I help you moving forward? And then I have to manipulate, use the psychology, and then so they can think themselves what they need to do, that actually I don't need to worry about age. And when you go, like, on the dating website, there are some people that put that I don't want time wasters. And I said to one of the girls once when I read her profile, and I was like, do you want me to help you with your profile? Because your profile has some negativity there. I need to read your profile. I need to get excited. I need to have this movie of what kind of a person I'm reading this profile. So your profile is basically saying, I don't want the time wasters, and I'm going to wind you up and waste your time. And she was like, no, I'm okay. But I think even today she's still single because her profile is written in a negative way. So for me, I believe that, I don't know your beliefs, Rachel. I believe that we are all unique. And no matter how our age are, or 50, 60, 70, we are unique, we are beautiful and created in our own way, where we can meet this wonderful man, or this man can meet this wonderful woman, same age, and have a loving and caring relationship with that person. That's my beliefs. This is what I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're gonna think to yourself that you're already sort of resigned to being put on the shelf and nobody's going to take, one look at you, then that's going to be your reality, because you've already put yourself on the shelf. So that's the energy that you're giving out, is nobody really wants me, because look, it's what you feel about yourself that. Yeah. I mean, if they think that there's nobody out there who wants to love them, no, what they're really saying is, I don't love myself, so who's going to want to love me? So they've just moved themselves to this shelf where it will collect dust. And like I said, then they will find the evidence to keep proving to themselves, see, this is why I deserve to be on the shelf. When in actual fact, it's like, yeah, but nobody's put you there. The only person who put yourself there was you. So yeah. But with anything, the more you practice something, then you can actually train your brain to think differently. You can change how you think about yourself. You can alter your perception, and you can change your life. And I'm living proof. And I think you're living proof. So, when we give up those self-limiting beliefs, you do start to feel better about who you are, and you naturally then will actually, will make yourself feel better equipped to actually go out and reach whatever it is that your greatest potential is. So don't give up on yourself. Just seek a new way. Instead of doing whatever it is that you've been doing over and over and again and not getting the results that you're looking for, then there's an alarm bell there saying, okay, you need to find a different avenue. You need to find a different road, a different path, whichever way you want to put it. So go out there and find somebody who can help, to get you on a different journey.
Yeah, that is so true. Hey, YouTube family. YouTube family, sorry guys, I couldn't respond to you. My volume couldn't let me, so now it's let me. I'm sorry I wasn't ignoring you. And hopefully you come back, Bukri. Hopefully you come back. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have people on YouTube are saying hello, so I couldn't go and say hello because of my volume, but now it seems like it's fine. Hopefully it will stay that way. Yeah, I think, Rachel, you are actually right, because in life we have to see ourselves and value ourselves. For me, I didn't value myself for years and years. I became a follower. And when I became a follower, I did what my friend did. My parents taught me to be who I wanted to be. They've never controlled me. They've never said, Nomsa, we want you to be a doctor, or we want you to be a lawyer or anything. So I was raised like to say, Nomsa, you can become who you want to become. But then as I started traveling, meeting friends, and I started trying to fit in, because in my thoughts, there was this thing where it was telling me that I wasn't enough anymore. But normally, Nomsa does not copy anybody else. So I started dressing like my friends, and I started talking like my friends. and I was getting frustrated because that was no longer my identity. And until one day I realized I sat down one day, I was like, I'm not this person. Since growing up as a child, I'm always been very happy, never worry about anything. That's how I was raised. Why am I becoming this that I don't even know? Who is this person that is coming to me? And these thoughts that worrying about things, worrying about what people think about myself. And that was a frustration. And I had to change. I used to like dress, and having a shower, going out, it would take me 2 hours. Rachel, this is not a joke. And I'll make sure I make up hair. When I stepped outside, I make sure that I didn't step in the mud. Made sure that my handbag matched my high heels. My high heels matched my shoes. My shoes matched my dress, my jacket, my earrings, my eyelashes long, making sure that I'm looking good, honey, but inside I was broken. Honestly, I was broken. And until I was like, when my relationship fell apart, and that's when I was like, God, praying now, I'm fasting, I'm like, God, I say, give me a man that will give me this, that will look after, that man that will stand by me, the person that I'm becoming, that will be this, that will be this, I'm going to be this. And then I'm hearing these thoughts comes in, it's like, but you didn't, I gave you what you asked for, Nomsa. I gave you. So I'm like, I didn't have the knowledge of valuing myself, my worthiness, and also communicating my needs. And I was like, need some work. And I can tell you that journey when I went, I think about 5 psychologists or 4 psychologists, and they're all, I'm like sitting there listening, taking notes, and I'm going home. I couldn't get it. Because it was my thoughts that I needed to change my thoughts. I could not get it. Then I'm going home, I ring another psychology, the 10th session is finished. And then I'm like, it does not make sense. I don't know what these people want me to do. It doesn't make sense. And then after I finished with the other woman, in the last one, 10 session, we finished, and then I get home now. I'm crying in front of the mirror, forgiveness. Now I'm realizing there's some things that I had to let it go. And now in that moment, it made me realize that my inner child was screaming for me, screaming at me, for me, pay attention, Nomsa. And I was a daddy's girl, and I was a mommy's girl. For me, I was close to my both parents, close to my step-parents, all of them. And when you tell me off, I get confused because I'm used to parents. When I'm being naughty, how they sit me down. They don't let me get away with things, but they'll sit down with me and explain the consequences of not following my heart or not listening to them, what's gonna happen. And after that, they give me a hug and tell me how much I mean to them. But now I'm dating someone is frustrating. Rachel, I can't communicate like the way I could communicate with my dad. I cannot communicate the way I could communicate with my mom or my stepdad. I couldn't understand it. And I was like, what is going on? So there was this child that was screaming inside. And all I did know was if I can accept who I am and accept the person that I'm dating and accept that I'm not dating my father, I'm dating a different person, then everything will be okay. I don't know how, when you're dating, going through with those thoughts, I don't know how your journey has been. About my journey will be like when a man comes in and tells me off, and I'm like, honestly, inside, I'll be like scared because I'm not used to it. My parents never told me off. I don't know. I think it's because they've never really made me feel that I'm wrong. To them, it was like, you don't know, you don't understand this, so we're going to sit down with you and explain how things work. And when they explain things in love, not out of love. And then it's up to me. But then I'm dating, instead of me seeing a man as a different man, I'm like, I'm a princess to my mom and dad. I don't get told off, honey. I get explained. I don't know how your life has been with your thoughts, but my thoughts has taken me to places that I don't know how I got there.
I mean, you know, what I'm hearing there with what you're saying, it was all coming down to attitude.
Yeah.
And the reality is that we all determine our own attitude.
Yeah.
You know, our attitude is one of the actual few things in life that which we all have control over. You know, my attitude, your attitude, the neighbor's attitude, the attitude of anybody listening, that is not something that is happening to us. It is something that we are choosing. And so attitude is created by the thoughts.
Yeah.
And those thoughts that we have are the ones that we're choosing. Nobody is forcing us to think what we think. We're doing that ourselves. We get to decide how we want to perceive ourselves. We get to choose how we want to process the different events that are happening in our life, be that on a personal level or a professional level. You know, we make the decision that whether or not our mindset is going to be a positive or a negative one. And it can start off out as a negative one, and then we can decide at any moment, well, you know what, I want to change that. Actually, I want to have a positive mindset. And so what I have learned on my journey is, if I want to feel better, I had to think better.
Yeah.
No, it was simple, really as simple as that. And so in order to be positive in the way that you feel, it really is actually quite necessary that you become disciplined in the way you think. It was, for me, a continuous journey of recorrecting myself. Every time I noticed that I was thinking in more of the negative way, in an old past pattern, it was down to me to choose to, okay, no, I don't want to think like this. I want to think in a different way. And it did feel abnormal to begin with. It did feel like, well, this isn't who I am. But that was because I was attached to an identity of somebody who thought negatively about themselves. And so that transition for me, moving from being the person who thought negatively about herself to somebody who thinks positively about herself, you know, it was a bit of a uncomfortable adjustment that I had to make, because I was letting go of things that I had held on for as long as I could remember.
Yeah.
And all of that then has an effect on your self-confidence. And self-confidence is also an attitude. It's how basically we relate to ourselves, an attitude, isn't it? It's the skills and our abilities. Are we going to say that are we going to downgrade them, or are we going to, you know, upgrade them? Again, everything is always a choice. And the moment that people can really grab hold of that concept, that idea that everything is a choice, you are choosing every day your experience, because it starts within and it's reflected externally. The moment that I made that switch and I committed to it, it really changed my story.
Yeah, I like it when you say it changed your story, because we write our own stories. Even myself, when I actually realized that actually we are all different people and our destinies are different. So I need to look at people in a different way and write my own story and write my own love story as well. And it made me actually that moment realize that actually my parents were really nice people, and now I need to write my own story. And also the other thing that I wasn't familiar with the fighting in a relationship, because I've never seen my parents fighting. But it's not my parents didn't fight. They did fight, but private. When we were not there, they made sure that they fight. But my stepdad, he was like somebody who preached, like if things like we explain that when you get married, you have to cook for your man. You'll be like, we had people working because they work really, really hard. They're always away, somebody looking after the kids. And when he's at home, he was like, I didn't marry somebody that I employed. I married your mom. So we all knew that when my dad is at home, my mom, she's the one who is cooking. We don't cook. We don't go to the kitchen. So it was like very, very clear in that part where when I said I said I do to my wife. And I know I've employed people to look after you kids to cook. But when I'm in the house, they sit down, they watch TV, they do whatever they want to do. They don't cook for me. And those were the things that I witnessed with my parents. And when I'm out now dating and many were arguing, so I'm like, this is not right. I'm out. The relationship don't work like this. So I didn't know that my mom and my dad or my stepdad, they did have these arguments. And when you speak to my mom now, and you're like, how was the relationship with you and dad? And he'll be like, wow, your dad. And he will start giving it to me. And I'm like, but I never saw it. And he was like, yeah, we couldn't fight in front of you kids. So now I'm understanding that fight is normal and getting into personal development. Now I'm like, you want to bring the fight? Yeah, we can fight it. And then if I see things are getting out of control, I just go for a walk. But before, I'll be like, I'm out. I don't want her to be in this relationship. Now I can fight with grace. I can fight. And if I see that, like the other day, we had a big argument with Martin, and I'm like, are you going to take Kayla dancing because I need to go choir? So I need negotiating because the Saturdays is off. So I'm like, I need to go choir, and you guys have arranged that she needs to do singing as well. The dancing finish late. Normally I pick her up and then she does a dance, and then they've decided they're going to extend the hours. So it's like, are you going to pick her up? And he's giving it to me like, what if I'm not his finding this negativity? I'm sitting there, I'm laughing, and he's like, okay, you win. I'm like, no, it's not about winning. It's about you looking at your time and not fighting, and looking at your daughter, what she needs, her needs, and looking at our schedule, your schedule and my schedule. Between us, can we do this to make sure that her needs are fulfilled? It's not about me, a woman, winning the fight, or it's not about you. So I'm like, when you look at men, when they see women, you always think about every woman are the same. We are all different. So I'm like, right now I'm standing for you to give me the answer, whether do you want to go ahead with her, continue with her lessons, or do you want to wait and see your schedule with work and stuff? He doesn't work Saturday anyway. So it's like, and I goes, okay, I will take her. And so I was like, it's not about the winning. Whenever, because I raised my oldest on my own. And when I raised my oldest on my own, there were things as a parent that I had to realize that if I'm going to help my daughter become the person that she wants to become, I'm going to have to make a sacrifice. And those sacrifices, it means I have to, with the timing, I cannot be on the road, just picking and dropping. We need to plan activities that are normal activities that she can do and stick to them. And once she stick to those activities, then develop them and become something out of those activities and be the person she wants to be. So I had to, like relationship, I had to build a relationship with the people who do activities and explain to them that, you know, my daughter very well, whatever you think she can achieve, please come and help me, as long as it's not going to cost me too much money. And I leave her there. So that's how I raised my oldest one. And now Kayla, her dad is there. And I was like, always ask for help. And Hope is dead, my oldest. He goes, Nomsa, you are very, very annoying, but you want things done. For me, it's not about things. If things got to be done, got to be done. It's like I've been annoying you. This is who I am. I've been annoying you with the challenge, breakthrough challenge, right? This is who I am. If I can't do something, and I believe that Rachel can help, I just send a message. Or if somebody or my daughter wants to do something, I just send a message to her dad to approve it. For me, I believe that I cannot make a decision on my own when it comes to my daughter if her father is involved, even if we are not living together. So I'll be waiting for approval. And they think that I'm annoying, but I'm trying to value them, to say, I value you. And if you don't say yes, this is not going ahead. But I'm waiting for your yes, because this is your child. So he turned around once and said, you are actually really annoying. You never back down, but you get things done. And that's what I like about you. And this one, it was like, okay, now I need to remember when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to Nomsa, not anybody else. That's all I need to remember. I was like, yes, now you got it. So, Rachel G, if anyone is watching right now and they don't know who you are, because we have a Fam Gossip Talk Shows family that just, they pop in, they come in, and if someone is their first time and they come in and they don't know who you are, could you please tell our audience who you are and what you do, and also explain that you have a free gift that they need to go and sign up, and a paid gift as well.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a speaker, I'm a teacher, and a self-growth coach, all to do with, basically, it boils down to getting a better and authentic relationship that is loving with yourself. And it all has started because I myself have been on a very personal self-transformational journey, from self-rejection, self-hate, to self-acceptance and self-love. And that was really a huge learning for me, and it was full of richness that I just feel like I needed to share with other people, other women, basically, and really help to inspire them and encourage them to connect with themselves on a much deeper level, so that they can go out and achieve the things that they want to achieve in life. Because as we said today, it's all about how you feel. It is what you're attracting into your life and what you're giving out. So yeah, I really just want to help people to activate that innate power that they have within themselves, and to really manifest more of an abundance of joyful living. I love change, and I have a great gratitude for it, even through those painful transitions that we all will experience throughout our lives. And so you can find me on www.rachel-g.com. You can find me on Instagram at Rachel G Healing, and on Facebook the same, or just look up Rachel Goss on Facebook. And currently I'm offering you can go, you mean where we were on the
Breakthrough Challenge? Yes.
So there is a free PDF, Self-Love Begins Here, and also it's included is a I've lost the word, where you sit and you listen to me and I take you through a guided visualization. That's the word I'm looking for. And I'm offering a limiting beliefs session to help you uncover something that is maybe whatever it is that you're having a struggle with in your life, and don't seem to be able to move forward, you just feel stuck. Then I offer this limiting belief session where we will identify what it is that what belief you're holding on about yourself that is preventing you from being able to move forward. And once you have that awareness, then you're in a position to be able to actually do something and start to make different choices and different decisions moving forward, so that you do start to get momentum back into your life. And that's the paid offering that I give.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rachel. My offer is breaking every chain. We're breaking the chains. And I think I've attached I've attached there's 70 books there that I've attached. So if anyone wants to go and download them, you can go and download those books, and they've helped me so much. PDF, they're on a Google Drive, so you can go and download and help yourself as well. And then there's another session as well for Zoom, paid Zoom, if you want to break the chains, because I was a woman who stepped outside. When I step outside, everyone will be looking at the window like wow, look at Nomsa. But inside, I was broken. I didn't feel good as I looked on the outside. And I've learned so much. There's so many coaches who I've worked with that have helped me. And some of them I've never met them on YouTube. And some of them, I met them in person, and they helped me in person. Paul McKenna, I took Paul McKenna's program for the first time, and that changed everything, how to mend your broken heart. And after that, I took my degree in psychology, and it helped me a lot. I realized that I was broken, and I had to forgive myself. I was a woman who blamed people who were never there when I needed them. I was a woman who was a follower, started following other people. I was a woman who wanted to find love, and I didn't know how to love myself, and I didn't have the knowledge of what does being a queen mean in a relationship, and how do I treat my king. And all I needed was to give myself unconditional love and save my king. But I didn't know all those things. So I had to break the chains of I'm not enough, like rejections, like Rachel is saying, self-rejection. I rejected myself. But deep down in my heart, I thought I was loving myself by worrying about the makeup, worrying about my fake hair, worrying about how I dressed, going outside. I still love to dress though. I've not changed how, like, the dresses. I love clothes, but there are limits. When you see me stepping outside now, I'm dressed, I'm looking nice, that means I spend that 2 hours meditating. I spend that 2 hours communicating with God. And I spend that 2 hours writing my journal, reflecting on things, gratitude. I spend time at home planning my day, how my day is going to look like. So when I step outside and life throws me with unexpected, and I'm like, I stop and I'm like, bring it on, I'm ready for you. It's a weapon. So if you want to find a weapon for the day, weapons for the day, come to Nomsa, we can break the chains. And if you want to find whatever Rachel has explained, self-love and not rejecting yourself, and what it means to forgive yourself, and talking you through the journey where she's been, and using your own journey, of course, and you realizing that life has a meaning instead of rejecting life and rejecting yourself, because we do reject life unknowingly. We reject it. I don't know, Rachel, what you think, but I believe that we do reject life.
Yeah, if we're rejecting any part of ourselves, then we are rejecting life, because we are life.
Yeah. So I think that's us. Any words of encouragement, Rachel, for today?
I would say that, anybody who's out there feeling that they don't feel really fantastic about themselves is, you start working on building your confidence levels and your self-esteem, because every time you think negatively about yourself, there is the choice to be able to have a counter thought, which is a positive one. So start taking that thought on, and just, if that negative thought comes in, maybe you can say to yourself, okay, what are 3 things I can be grateful for right now if something is not going well? I also personally started to just really try to smile more, because even if that was forced at first, because when you smile, you actually do help yourself to feel better. Also, look at the way you hold yourself. I noticed that when I used to go out walking, I would slouch over and I would look down at the floor. Now I pull back my shoulders and I look forwards, and I look straight up, or sometimes I even look up, because even looking up is giving you a good feeling, because it's, when you look at the clouds and whatever, it does something to you. And also start to compliment yourself, especially if you see your reflection in the mirror. I mean, for me, that was a real, like, ooh, I would look at myself and I would immediately go into an attack about how awful I looked. But I just started to try to find something that I could compliment myself on, whatever that might be. If it was my hair, at least, oh yeah, my hair's looking good today, whatever. Just express yourself and be authentic with yourself. What is it that you like to do? Dress. If you like to dress, you have certain things that you like to wear and it makes you feel good, put them on more often. Do the hobbies that you like. Listen or watch music. Listen to music that you like, that will give you a good feeling. Watch films or programs that like gives you a good feeling inside. Just get your own style, understand what your preferences are, and go out, own it, and just start to really enjoy it, and stop worrying about what other people think. Don't compare yourself, and just hang around with people who make you feel good. That's my tip.
I love that, Rachel. Don't compare yourself. Comparison is a thief of joy. I'm gonna steal my joy by comparing me with Nomsa. That's why I always say to the audience, Rachel, at Ngozi Talk Shows, never compare yourself with Nomsa, because when you see Nomsa like right now, for me to be where I am today, I have to have a court with God. When things are not working, we sit down and I'll have a pretend judge. I'll have God sitting there with his angel, and I will be quoting the scripture and saying, God, you say anything you ask in my name, and this is what I'm asking. Or if somebody has wronged me, or if things are not going well in my life, or if I'm not feeling good and I'm like, why do I feel this way? So I have to actually cut the cords and break the chains. And here you come, you have no clue what Nomsa has done, and you start judging yourself, and that's not fair on you. So you have to accept you for who you are as a person, and know that if you have rejected someone that has rejected themselves, self-forgiveness is very, very important. And also, we are not our circumstances. Problems don't define who we are. Our past don't define who we are. And God bless everyone. We are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday. And please go, the Breakthrough Challenge Survivor, you can still access it on YouTube. I'm going to leave it for the whole week. I don't know if I decide or whenever after a few days to remove it on YouTube. So it's still there on YouTube. You can still access it. Please go and access it and download it. Download the free gift. So if you want a paid gift, go and download it and book your session with all these coaches that have been here through Breakthrough Challenge Survival. And you want to break the chains with Rachel, she's there. Go and book. And also all these coaches, they've left free gifts. You can download everything. If you are somebody who wants to start a business, I'll put 70 books there. Tony Robbins, you name it. What's the guy that trained Tony Robbins? What's his name? What's his name? The dead guy. What's his name? And the guy that Think and Grow Rich, that wrote the book Think and Grow Rich.
Rowan? No.
Yeah, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. All his books, the books are there. All these motivational, actually all of them. I haven't got Lisa Nicholson, but I think all of them are there. The books, all of them are there. So go put your email address and go find that gift and just download everything. I'm gonna go and download their gift as well. These coaches, their gift. I've not been able to do it because I've been very, very busy arranging the summit. But now this week I'm free. I will go and download myself and help myself. So please go and book a session. If you want to book a session with any of the coaches, please do. God bless.